In Chainsaw Man, the concepts that the populace fears formed into an energy that corresponds to a personification of a devil. A lot of people fear guns, so the gun devil is dreadfully powerful. The darkness devil's weird powers seemingly dwarf that because the fear of darkness has been around for a lot longer and is likely more widespread. There's also been mention of primordial devils based on primordial fears that exist in the series. And with part 2 of the manga coming out in the future, I will not be surprised if these devils will either be shown or mentioned more. And this video aims to predetermine what these primordial devils are. Devils that could probably scale even above the 4 horsemen in power and terror. Thank you guys so much for coming to this video, my first Chainsaw Man video I believe ever, and I'm discussing devils. If you guys really want to help me out, please check out my light novel series called Nine Fates at ninefates.com. It's a fantasy light novel series, new chapter coming out soon, and a huge announcement for that series coming out soon as well. Also, if you want to support me, you can like this video, subscribe, and turn notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter as well, link down below. So welcome to my first Chainsaw Man video. This video will feature spoilers for the manga, but the manga is a quick 97 chapter read if you want to blitz through it in a couple of days and then come back to this video. But I'm planning on releasing Chainsaw Man content because after I reread it, I have placed it as my 3rd or 4th favorite manga or comic, and that is insane considering how few chapters it has so far. So if you like Chainsaw Man, please support this video. Now I want to discuss the primordial devils and compare them to, they might be different and could be different than the 4 horsemen, which would be Makima is domination. There's also the hunger, death, and war devils, and these primordial devils can scale even far above the 4 horsemen. This is because I found this article by Carl Albrecht, PhD, that discusses the psychology of fear. In this article, he discusses that all types of fears of guns, fears of darkness, etc., stem from the 5 basic fears. 1. Extinction, the fear of annihilation, of ceasing to exist. This is a more fundamental way to express it than just the fear of death. The idea of no longer being arouses a primary existential anxiety in all normal humans. Consider that panicky feeling you get when you look over the edge of a high building. Number 2. Mutilation. The fear of losing any part of our precious bodily structure, the thought of having our body's boundaries invaded, or of losing the integrity of any organ, body part, or natural function. Anxiety about animals such as bugs, spiders, snakes, and other creepy things arises from fear of mutilation. Number 3. Loss of autonomy. The fear of being immobilized, paralyzed, restricted, enveloped, overwhelmed, entrapped, imprisoned, smothered, or otherwise controlled by circumstances beyond our control. In physical form, it's commonly known as claustrophobia, but it also extends to our social interactions and relationships. Number 4. Separation. The fear of abandonment, rejection, and loss of connectedness. A becoming of a non-person, not wanted, respected, or valued by anyone else. The silent treatment, when imposed by a group, can have a devastating effect on its target. Number 5. Ego death. The fear of humiliation, shame, or any other mechanism of profound self-disapproval that threatens the loss of integrity of the self. The fear of the shattering or disintegration of one's constructed sense of lovability, capability, and worthiness. Now, it's important that nearly all fears and devils that we have seen in the Chainsaw Man manga can be branched and bundled in any of these 5 basic fears. People are scared of guns, not because of the concept of a gun, but because of what a gun can cause. A gun would draw upon multiple of the basic fears. Fear of extinction, because guns can kill and end your existence. Mutilation, as gun wounds can lead to amputations or organ failures depending on where you are hit. Or the loss of autonomy, as it can lead to paralysis or brain damage if shot in the head or the spine. If your face is scarred from these injuries, it can lead to humiliation or shame. It can also lead to separation, as people might not want to associate with you if your face is harmed. So, in actuality, the gun devil can correlate to all of these 5 basic fears, and the gun devil will only have a fraction of the power of that fear because those fears are all the foundation of all fear. People are afraid of the dark because it can lead to these things as well. People will only fear things because the cause of them relate to the 5 basic fears. Like I have said, the more the fear, the more powerful the devil is. So how strong will these devils be? They will by far be stronger than any other devil that we have ever seen. Think of the strongest devils we have seen so far. The Darkness Devil, the Gun Devil, the Blade Devil, the Bomb Devil. Combine all of their powers together and then amplify them many-fold. Imagine the weird hacks-like abilities of the Darkness Devil, amplify that many-fold. Many people fear guns. Far more people fear these basic 5 fears. And essentially everybody fears the basic 5 fears, but not everybody fears guns. Remember, people fear guns because of death, mutilation, paralysis, separation anxiety, and the humiliation that can possibly stem from them. The Extinction Devil might just be the Death Devil, and that would allow them to kill anyone who gets close to them, or even go further beyond that and grant full-on existence erasure, kind of like Chainsaw Man's ability. They might have full control over death, and thus cannot be killed, only possibly defeated by Chainsaw Man eating them whole and erasing them from existence. The Mutilation Devil could have a power that is similar to the Darkness Devil, causing people to lose limbs or make their limbs unusable in battle. They might create bugs that cause such things, and may have a passive presence that weakens foes via mutilating their body, whether that be on the inside or the outside. The Loss of Autonomy Devil could have a power that is somewhat similar to Immeasurable Void, but something that doesn't only affect the mind. Imagine if Immeasurable Void didn't just overflow victims' brains with sensory information, but it also smothered their bodies in lights, sounds, masses, and senses that completely paralyzed them. People could be sentient in the presence of the Autonomy Devil, but they wouldn't be able to do anything because they would bear the pain and chaos of everything it's causing them. A Separation Devil would also be kind of mind fuckery, except more so in the emotional way rather than the informational way. I wouldn't be surprised if the Separation Devil created illusions to make its victim feel alone, fill them with bad thoughts of their family and friends abandoning them or making them feel alone, illusions that feel more than real. They are trapped on a small asteroid at the center of the universe. Maybe their powers will even go beyond that, and the Separation Devil could also just straight up warp reality. They can make you go through different lives, kind of like simulations of lives, where one must go through everything alone. This would be far more emotional manipulation than the last. While being alone can drive you crazy, being actively humiliated or shamed can be just as damaging. If one feels supremely unloved or unworthy, it can lead to a life without meaning. People will do things small or big to be viewed in a positive light by society, and people will often hide things so that to not be viewed negatively by society. Embarrassment or shame is a powerful emotion that can even lead to suicide. Ego death could play on the insecurities of the victims, even fill the victim with false insecurities in their head, or actually alter their body to make them feel worse. If someone has an embarrassment of their looks or their height, the Ego Death Devil could alter their frame to look even worse, making them shorter or uglier according to their victim's own perspective and paradigm. Now this could lead to the final and most powerful devil in the series. First of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Devils are created by fear, but in actuality, though these are the 5 basic fears that all fears derive from, the worst fear would be fear itself. Maybe, at some point, all the devils would combine into one, or at least all 5 of these devils would create a fear devil, the most powerful one. The fear devil could have all the powers of all the devils that have ever existed, making them have an endless amount of abilities and hacks. The final battle could be Denji and whatever friends he has left, going against the personification of fear, the fear devil itself. And if the only thing you have to fear is fear itself, if Denji, or Pochita, or the Chainsaw Man eats the fear devil, all fears will be gone from society. Or at least, how would that work? Would that mean that all current fears that have ever thought of or been feared would be erased from existence? But then, maybe if there was a new fear that came about later, that would come back into play into hell and a new devil be born? Or would it just completely erase the concept of fear for the rest of the lore and the world building and the universe of Chainsaw Man? So, with the huge play on fear in the series and the symbolism and the thematics and Chainsaw Man's ability, and we also know that Makima's plan, or at least what she wants to do at one point, is for all the 4 horsemen to be eaten by Chainsaw Man to rid the world of that concept because of his existence erasure ability if he eats you. So, maybe they still have to be with fear itself, though are you really human if you don't have fear? Though fear is a not great emotion, fear can keep you alive because of what fear can do. This could play on what really it means to be human. And this even goes into one of the fears itself. It's separation, becoming a non-person. Well, if you don't fear, well, that could be a good thing because it'd get rid of a lot of bad things. But are you really human if you don't fear anything? So this is why I really like Chainsaw Man, because not only is it good art and a great story with great fights and it's really brutal, but the philosophy of it also. Like when Denji asked Makima, she would get rid of all bad movies. Well, sometimes bad movies are a good thing. bad movies can be so bad that they're so good and so fun to watch. And also, bad movies, to some people, will actually be good. There's almost a no objective way to determine if a movie is good or bad. If one person liked it, then that would mean that it's good to one person. But anyways, that's just going on a tangent. What do you guys think of this video? Could these devils be personified at the end of the series and be even above the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse? The reason why I say they would be above the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse is because they are far more broad than just war and hunger, as they kind of go in tandem with these. They flow into these, they branch into these. So that is why I see these being above the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse devils. But let me know your thoughts down below. Please leave a like for my first Chainsaw Man video. I have another one coming out. I might be doing one a week. I just have a lot of ideas of Chainsaw Man, and I'm really excited for the manga to return. The anime should be cool, but I am much more of a manga reader than an anime viewer. But anyways, hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...